Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। All of us in our lives, we have a propensity to strive for perfection in anything we do, whether it is material life or spiritual life. You all know there is a department called quality control department in companies. Why they have quality control? Because you want to produce high quality products. Do you agree? Similarly, if you are students, you would like to be a top ranker in the class. You aim at 10 grade, 10 out of 10. If you can't, you try for 9.5 or 9 or something. You always strive for perfection. Similarly, if you're going to play Olympics, you will make an effort for gold medal. Is it not true? Is there anybody here, you will only try for mediocre? Or you will try for the best? Yes? We always try to do things in the best standard possible. Why is that so? Because we have innately a propensity for striving for excellence, striving for perfection in anything that we do. None of us like to commit mistakes, because when you commit mistake, you look like a fool. So you want to do things perfectly. So therefore, in life also, when you look at the world around us, if you see why the science is making its progress, there are several reasons you could give. Can some of you give some reasons why the science is making progress and why scientists are into researching on things? What are they looking for? Okay, technology, but what is the purpose of technology? Yeah? Yeah. Leverage is saying, okay. You don't have a mic, a standard mic for them? Only one you have? Okay, give it, give it. Give it, give it. Those are raising hand, give it to them. They will take it. Just leave it to them. They will pass it.
Just to leverage the woman life.
Okay, but what, there has to be a purpose for leverage also, no? Why do you want to get ahead of others?
To find the effective way of living a life.
What is that effective way?
Means easy of doing.
That's agreeable. To make life easier. To make life simpler and easier. For example, you don't have to walk, you can have a bike. Our bike is also troublesome. You would prefer to have a car or aeroplane. To make life smoother, easier, faster, more comfortable. That's one of the goals of science. Any other goal of science? He's saying finding the ultimate truth. I don't think so. I don't think any scientist asks questions about that.
Hello.
Oh, Big Bang is one of the researchers in science talks about some 20 different explanations to the origin of universe. I don't think any scientist is seriously asking about how did everything come about, where did it all begin. I don't think they are asking a serious question about that. Anything else?
In the process of perfection, Prabhuji.
Okay. Why do you want to do things perfectly?
So that there will be no imperfection left behind.
Oh, it is another way of saying the same thing. Anything else? Any other reason? To fulfill our desires. We have many desires, and through science we find out ways and means to give shape to our desires. Okay? What else?
To live healthy.
To live?
Healthy.
To live a healthy life. Really? For example, I have an automobile which is not making me healthy, which is increasing my air pollution in the city. I am having chemical effluents sent into the factories, sent out of the factories into the river. That is not making my life healthy. Man is making atom bombs, scuds and missiles to kill one another. That doesn't talk anything about the health at all. Man is going for genetically modified foods, where he's nullifying the female component. And human beings are becoming, they are getting infertility because of that. That is not going to produce children in future. I don't think they are trying to make life healthy.
Prabhuji, sometimes they want to accumulate wealth for their own country. By discovering new things, they want to sell that product.
Okay.
And they want to accumulate more wealth.
Accumulate more. Okay, more wealth for what? Why do you need more wealth? To lead the human race. Okay, to lead the other people, lead towards what? You have to see, if you say you are leading, you should lead towards something, some goal. To? Okay, he's saying satisfaction. Okay.
For comfortable living.
Satisfaction of our senses, he's saying. Okay. Anything else?
For comfortable living.
Comfortable living. That was one of the first points we said. To make life more comfortable, to make life more easygoing, to make life smoother and happier. See, science's main goal is to alleviate suffering if you cannot eliminate it. To alleviate suffering. Alleviate means reduce suffering. For example, if it is very hot sun, what do? You have an air-conditioned room or you have a fan. Therefore, you can see that they are trying to find ways to reduce sufferings. Walking causes pain to the legs, so you have bike or a car or something like that, or a plane. They want to reduce suffering. That's one of the goals of science. To make your life more comfortable. First is reduce suffering. After the suffering is reduced, then make life more and more comfortable, easier, easygoing. So, ultimate goal of science is to produce happiness for the human being, satisfaction and happiness. Of course, one of them said that, but whether we are led to happiness is a question mark. That's another thing. It led to many sufferings. That's another thing. But the point is, the goal of science is to be happy. That's one of the goals. Another goal of science is to know what is there in this world around us, so that if some agents are dangerous for you, to protect yourself from those dangers. For example, UV radiation is dangerous, ultraviolet rays. So how to prevent myself from that? So one can find out ways and means. If you know the dangers around you, there are physical and subtle dangers are there. Certain rays are dangerous. Similarly, there are other dangers also around you. So they want to find out what is harmless and what is harmful. If there is something harmful, how we can prevent ourselves. For example, I get disease in the body, wound in the body, then they find out some tetramycin, some medicine to apply and then remove that pain. So therefore I told you, the goal of science is to remove pain and increase satisfaction and happiness. And also find out what is the world I am living in, what are the possible dangers that may come my way, and how to protect and prevent myself. After doing these things, science also wants to know what is there in the other planets. What are the things that are put around us to find out, okay, in this planet people are dying, people are getting old and diseases. So if you go to another planet, maybe there the death may not be there. Maybe there the old age may not be there. If you go to Mars or if you go to Moon, some other planet. So they want to find out how to put a full stop to not only diseases, but also the old age, how to prolong life. Otherwise, why they have ventilators? To prolong life and to stop death, to stop diseases, and go to some other planet where all this old age, disease, death will be stopped. So these are all goals of science. The purpose of study of science is to actually discover what is already around you, the world in which you are put in. So, in the course of researching in science, man is certainly coming from one level of awareness to a higher level of awareness. And then, like for example, somebody said atom cannot be split. Another scientist said atom can be split. Another scientist gave more details about what is inside the atom, the nucleus and the electron and all those things. Then within the nucleus there is proton, neutron, there are mesons, more details. And then inside the atom there is a whole atomic physics now. So science is going on researching. I would suggest you to see one in the Google search. You can find out cosmic eye, you put. It will take you to micro things and macro things. There are things which are extremely difficult for human to perceive at macro level. Similarly, there are things which are at micro level also. So they have shown it very nicely. It's a kind of video type of thing. Put cosmic eye, you will get it. So man is researching and his research is going on. So on one hand, this type of research is going on. But science does not talk anything about, as Schrödinger says, the things which are very dear to your heart. Science doesn't talk anything about it. For example, love is a very famous word in this world. Can anybody from a scientific point of view explain what love is? Do you ever study about love in physics or chemistry or biology? But what is important for you in your life is love for your mother and father, brother and sister, family and friends. It's a very important thing for you. Another example. There are other things very dear to you. Gulab Jamun, for example. For how many of you Gulab Jamun is very dear to you? Science, does it talk about it? It can tell you Gulab Jamun is a spherical shaped object. The porosity of the ball is this much. The diameter of the ball is this much. It's floating in a syrup of viscosity this much, like that it can say. It doesn't say anything about. Of course, if you want to know what a Gulab Jamun is, just pop one in your mouth, you will know what it is. So, Schrodinger, I will show you the quote of Schrodinger will come. Science cannot say anything about how, can a robot say how beautiful a person is? Can a robot say how tasty Gulab Jamun is? Can a robot say how wonderful the fragrance of a flower is? Can a robot talk about how sweet a song is? Can robot say anything about the feelings and emotions you feel? Aesthetic appeal? It cannot. So, these are the things very dear to your heart. And science doesn't say anything about it. It doesn't talk anything about consciousness. Therefore, you will find it is only studying about one subject called as Jada. So, there are two subjects in this world, Jada and Chetan. How many of you know what is Chetan? Consciousness. Yeah. Chetan means that which is conscious. Now, this table is Jada. And all of you sitting here, you are Chetan. You all are aware that you are sitting here, right? Is there anybody sitting here without knowing you are here? You are all aware, right? That's what cogito ergo sum. Descartes, he said that. Cogito ergo sum means I am aware that I am sitting here, existing here. If you get up and walk out, you will know you are walking out. So if it is dark, you know it is dark. If it is light, you know it is light. You are consciously aware. So there are two entities in this world. One is dead matter, another one is conscious entity. So what is life and what is matter? These two are not clearly understood by scientists, even after a lot of research. They cannot clearly distinguish. They thought at one time that if matter can be made a little more evolved and complex, then it will lead to living forms. They thought like that. But now they are understanding matter and life are two distinct things. There is no connection. Living forms are totally different. And no living form can come from dead matter. Living forms always come from other living forms. You will see that life always comes from life. Like for example, chemicals come out of a citrus tree, like a lemon tree. But with lemon, with a citrus chemical, you cannot produce a lemon tree. You cannot produce. You understand what I am saying? Chemicals come out of a tree, but with chemicals you cannot produce a tree. Although our body nowadays, scientists know how to separate all the chemicals in human body. You give them all these chemicals, they cannot combine these chemicals and form life. They cannot. So therefore, it is very distinctly understood now that life is different from matter. So, if one wants to know what is that life that is driving this bodily machine, the body is also like a computer only. You all know CNC computer? In a CNC computer, there is a microprocessor where you write the program. Accordingly, the servo motors will move linear or rotary. That's like in a robo. Correct, no? Those who do robotics, like you write in the microprocessor, linear rotary movements will happen accordingly. Correct, no? There is coolant, which is giving the cooling this thing. So I was a mechanical engineer before. So I have also operated in a CNC machine. And I found that our body is exactly like a CNC machine. Like I have my hands and legs, which are servo motors. Hands, legs, genitals, rectum, and speech. These are like servo motors. You can see that. And our brain or our mind is like a microprocessor. Here, whatever program you write, your hands, legs move accordingly. It moves like that. Then what is the difference between a CNC machine and our body? CNC machine operates exactly in the same mechanism. Anybody can tell me? What? He's saying feelings. Machine doesn't have any feeling. Yeah? Senses. Actually, as I told you, hands are also senses. Legs are senses. Now, in a robo also, they are all there. In robo also can move the hand, right? They can also move the leg. There was one video, robo is doing arati for Balaji, they showed. And ringing bell also. Ding, 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 like this. So some people are amazed. Oh, robo is doing arati. But if you are an electronics engineer, there is no fun in that. It's nothing great in that. Even a kid can write a program now for making a robo, Ringing the bell like this, only one movement only. And this is a rotary movement. Nothing great about it. It's very easy. But what is missing in that robo? Awareness. Yes. No consciousness. No awareness. Correct, no? If you program a robot to tell good night in the morning time, as soon as you get up in the morning, good night, you will say. Because you programmed him to be so. Instead of saying good morning. You understand? Like for example, I have alarm clock. In my mobile alarm. Morning I keep at 3:30 or something. Sometimes I forget to switch it off. I go to bathroom to take a bath. And that mobile keeps on ringing again and again. That poor fellow doesn't know that I have already gotten up. And I have gone to bathroom. And I have taken bath. After coming several times it has rung. Because it's a dull matter. On the other hand, imagine one of you sleeping in my room. I told you to get me up at 3:30. Now suddenly you wake up at 3:35. You don't find me there. Will you keep shouting? Why you will not shout? You will see that the bathroom light is on. This fellow has already gotten up, gone to bathroom. Purpose is served now. Purpose of my waking you up is to wake you up and send you to bathroom. It's already gone, so I'll go to sleep, correct now? And that is the meaning of awareness. You understand the example, all of you? But a mobile is not aware. Although it sets alarm, it will ring at 3:30, again 3:35, 3:40. Even after you come from bathroom, get ready, you're going to temple, it will keep on doing. That is the meaning of dull matter. Dull matter is dead. It has no life, no awareness, no consciousness. But a conscious person can change his course of action. He has intentionality. Dead matter doesn't have intentionality. Like your intention was to wake me up at 3:30. But I have already gotten up, so you will not call me. You have changed your intention to shout. In case you found me sleeping, you would have shouted, Prabhu, you wanted to get up at 3:30. You will tell me. But I have already gotten up. So your purpose is served already. So, we have thinking, feeling, willing, intentionality, which you have heard about it in the previous sessions. First session you have heard about it, Gita in a nutshell. Now, that living Chetan personality is residing in this bodily machine, just like a parrot in a cage or a driver in a car. Or all of you right now, you are inside this bodily dress, correct now? Today you are all wearing one dress. Tomorrow you will wear another dress. You are changing the dress, but the person is the same person. Simply Atma is the same person. He has, he changes from one body to another, and the bodies are like the dresses. That's what Lord Krishna says in Gita. So he says the Chetan is different from Jada. Body is Jada or Chetan? This body. Body is always Jada. Like if I put a gloves in my hand and move my hand like this, is the gloves Chetan or Jad? Anybody has doubt about it? I am putting my hand in the gloves and doing like this. Like my right now, for example, wearing. Is my shirt Jad or Chetan? Anybody has doubt about it? Is there anyone who said Chetan now? My shirt is Chetan? Now why the Jad Padartha is moving? My Chetan hand is moving the Jada Padartha. Otherwise the Jada cannot function. Similarly, this body is always Jada. Even now our bodies are dead. But what makes the body appear alive is soul. Atma is making it appear alive. The moment Atma, for example, the moment I take my hand out of the gloves, what will happen to gloves? It will just drop. When I put my hand, gloves will come like this. That means the gloves possessing life is because of the hand inside. Similarly, the body is possessing life because of the soul inside. That's what you learned in the previous session. Very fundamental. If you have no knowledge of soul, and if you don't know the duties of the soul, then you think you are the body, what you see in the mirror. All of you think about your body. Your body was a small baby, correct now? Now it is youthful now. Eventually it will get old. A day will come and the body will fall down to the ground. It will be taken to the graveyard and given to the fire. Correct, no? After that, it is of no importance after that. But the Atma will never die. Atma is permanent, eternal, Krishna says. So now comes a very important point. If this is a body is a machine, this machine is driven by the Atma. What about the cosmic creation, the universe? That's a huge machine. And that should be operated by a big operator. Is it not true? He's called as the operator of the cosmic machine, we call it. Huh? Yeah. We are operator of the small machine, but he is operator of the cosmic machine. Huh? If you say, no, there is no operator for the cosmic machine, then how is a cosmic machine functioning by itself? Huh? Can any machine, have you seen, functions on its own? Huh? Show me one machine. Even in America, if you say there are automated cars, which doesn't require a driver, but those automated cars are run by a living person remotely. Therefore, I would say those remote fellows are the one driving the car. For example, I have a toy car. I give key, chirk, 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 I give key and I leave it. It goes up to that pillar, it goes. It appears it is moving on its own, but a living man has given it key. Therefore, it is moving. That means a machine cannot function without the touch of spirit. The moment there is no spirit, the matter will be the same place for 1,000,000 years. Take an aeroplane in the airport. 1,000,000 years it cannot move unless a pilot walks towards the plane, boards the cockpit and presses a button, then the plane takes off. Otherwise, the plane is always jada. It is dead. So, which is important? Jada is important or Chetan is important? But what is science studying? Right from our LKG to doctorate, we are studying. What is science studying all about? They are missing the point. They are studying about the jada, unfortunately. So, studying about the jada is not very helpful, because out of the two, is jada important or Chetan important? Yeah, but they are not studying about the Chetan. That is where they miss the point. When Prabhupada went to America, he told the Americans, in Berkeley University, when Prabhupada went, there is a very big tower there. Boys, girls would jump off from there and commit suicide. Now they have closed the top. Because if you have a 100-story building, people go to the roof and jump from there. So they closed the roof so that now they can jump from the 99th floor now. You cannot go to the 100th floor now. They're closed at the top. Prabhupada said, what is the use of your dollar notes? What's the use of your broad roads, tall towers, and big cars, comfortable life and handsome bodies? You are missing the point, sir. You are studying only jada. But our Vedas are studying about Chetan, the conscious soul. So, not only we are studying about the conscious soul who is driver of this body, we are studying about the big conscious soul who is super consciousness or super soul, who is operating the whole universe. That's what you are going to learn today. The mastermind behind the mysterious universe. Okay. So you will also see, from your own observation, you are going to observe, from scientist observation, and then we will ask you $2 million questions, and then we will do an activity and conclude, okay? So this is the summary of today. Who has the mic with you? Give it to the attendees. Don't keep it with you. Mic should not be touched by any devotee. It should be amongst the boys. Mic is not for you. Read it.
By observing the world around us scientifically, we can see the hand of a supreme intelligent designer.
Yeah. By observing the world around us, scientifically, you can see the hand of a supreme intelligent designer. You can see design everywhere in this world. Look at your own body. You see the top of your head, hair grows longer and longer, right? Why? So that you can decorate yourself. People have different hairstyles, right? They have 24 hairstyles they have. It's a disco style, they say, they keep like this. You see in that? Different styles. But here the hair, you see, it doesn't go beyond this. Imagine if this hair grows like this. What do you think will happen? This will come and block your vision. Every time I want to talk to you, I have to talk like this and then it will close. Is it not true? That means there is a design. You agree? Without design, how is it that it doesn't grow beyond this? Of course, some scientists may say there are some enzymes here which don't let it grow beyond this. Then my question is, why only enzyme should be here? Why not here? Because here God has allowed you to grow a longer hair to decorate yourself. But here is put a block. In the same manner, you can see, imagine if your eyes are here and your nose is here in the belly and your mouth is behind. Then you have to see the food with the eyes, then smell from here and then give it. But if you did it like this, will it be easy or difficult? Difficult. But God has kept everything in one place. Eyes, nose, mouth. You take the food, eyes are seeing it. Is it fresh food or old food? Nose smelling and put it. All three in one place. It's a design. Huh? You can see that it's a very perfect, amazing design it is. So one can observe the body, your own body. You can see how many designs, what all designs are made. You can try this. You stand upside down in Shirasasana. The saliva in the mouth will go upwards. You've seen that? And just because you are upside down, not the saliva will come out from the nose. You can try that. Huh? When you are upside down in Shirasasana. There's a design. How it comes, doctors will tell you. Huh? Body is so intricately designed. Huh? So you will find. He's eating a chocolate or something. Going in. The gastric juice is being supplied. See, one fellow is blocking it. So, you can see, in the same manner, we are going to observe the universe around you. Now we are observing the body. Then you will see that there is a supreme intelligent designer in the universe. See, first of all, what is the source of the cosmos, if you ask a scientist? See here, contemporary worldview is everything originated from a Big Bang. And the Vedic worldview says God created everything and everyone. The word cosmos itself means orderly, harmonious, systematic universe. It's from Oxford Dictionary. You can see the meaning. Orderly, harmonious, systematic universe. Actually, what is Big Bang theory? It says that everything came from a high density point of infinite temperature, infinite density, which is beyond, all conceptions of space and time, mathematically unverifiable, physically unrealizable. Like that it says. It's a very, very funny theory because you can't call it a scientific theory. Because if you cannot physically verify it, mathematically verify it, beyond space and time, what kind of scientific theory are you talking about? You are not removing faith, you are giving faith, another garb of faith. On the other hand, there are great scientists like Einstein. They have understood that there is a great intelligence, God, who reveals himself in an orderly harmony of the universe. See, this is the Big Bang. Theory, everything came from a high density point. Vedas say that there is a person behind. For example, you had a father, you have a father, your father had a father, his father had a father. If you go up, maybe you didn't see your grandfather's grandfather, correct? You're not seen. But how many of you are sure he existed? You have any doubt about it? He exists, sure no. If you go up, the father, all the fathers, will it be a person or will it be a stone chunk? Okay. Anybody here say stone chunk? You raise your hand if you say it's a stone chunk. Must have been the origin of all your fathers. If you say so, then you have to show at least one evidence to me that from a stone chunk some living forms comes out. Correct? No? But I can show you from one man, children coming out. I can show you even today. Correct? No? You can see that father. Ultimately should be a person. Living person. Now Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhumi rapo nalo vayu kammano buddhirevacha ahankara iti yamme bhinna prakritirashtadha. 8 elements he says, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, ego. All these things are my material creation. Krishna says that. And then he says, not only I am the source of everything in this world, he says, I am the essence of everything. For example, the essence of this bulb is to give light. Essence of the fan is to give you air. Similarly, everything has an essence. Essence of gulab jamun is to give you sweetness, taste. Similarly, he says, I am the taste of water, which is the essence of water. I am the heat and light of the sun and the moon. And he also, you can see that when the sun rises in the morning, the flowers blossom, and also the sun gives rise to the clouds and the rains leads to grains and crops. And there are varieties of fruits which we observe in the creation. We can only see a man making a plastic mango to keep it in the showcase. Can a man make any of these 6 types of juices? Sweet, salt, sour, pungent, astringent, bitter. So they are all coming in the nature. Sun creates the fruits and moon supplies the juices. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. And this entire creation is maintained by the sun and moon. So Krishna says, all these things I have created. He says that in Bhagavad Gita. Matta paradaram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya mayi sarvam idam protam sutre manigana iva. Like here you see these manis which I am wearing here. They all are connected by a nylon thread. If you remove the thread, what will happen? They will all get scattered away. In the same manner, Lord Krishna says, He is the nylon thread in the entire creation. Without God's presence, everything will be scattered, he says. Nothing will be orderly. So, see, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo. Prabhavo means I am the source of everything that you see in the creation. I am the source of all spiritual material worlds. Everything emanates from me, he says. Not only that, he says, I enter all the planets by my energy and I am holding them in orbit. You all have seen a drone camera, correct? Flying up and clicking photos right now. Yeah, so it appears like flying on its own, but you all know very well it is being controlled by a man, correct? No? One fellow is operating it. Now, just as the drone cameraman is operating the drone camera, Krishna is operating all the planets, he says. I enter these planets by my energy and I am keeping them in the orbit. But of course, the drone camera wala has to be very alert, otherwise it will fall on somebody's head. But as far as Krishna is concerned, he says, I hold them very easily. Ekam shena sthito jagat. With a little drop of my energy, I can maintain all the universes, he says. That means here is a personality who claims that nothing is happening by chance. Everything is guided and controlled. Balam balavatam chaham. I am the strength of the strong, he says. The strong man may not be knowing, you have to tell him. Krishna says he is the one who is provider of the strength. Similarly, he says, Buddhir buddhimatam asmi. I am the intelligence of the intelligent people. Who is that person in the middle? Einstein. Did Einstein create his own brain? He was awarded the brain by God. So Krishna says, I am the awarder of the brain. Whether it is for Einstein or whether it is for Newton. Newton had the brain to ask a question, how the apple is coming down, not going up. So he says, Buddhir buddhimatam asmi. I am the intelligence of the intelligent. I am the strength of the strong. So by observing the nature, we get many questions about whether is there a God beyond. Who creates and maintains this beautiful universe? So let us see from your own observation, this A, B, C, D, E, F, you can see. You can see artistry, organization, creation, design, energy. But all these things imply you cannot have a beautiful painting without a painter, without an artist. You cannot have a beautiful organization without a organizer. Say, for example, in India, there is 148 crore population. Do you agree there is an education department? There's an irrigation department. There's an electricity department. There's a water department, correct? And are these departments coming by chance or is there somebody presiding it? Somebody presiding it. So, why to take the country? Take a small company itself. Do you agree that a company is organized or it is randomly functioning on its own? Say, for example, go to Pocharam, Singapore city. Infosys has got 20,000 employees there. Is it functioning on its own or there is organization? Yeah, about the organization, there is organizer. Correct, no? That's a CEO at the top. Similarly, design, for example, Here is a design. If you open this watch, there is a PCB behind. And every printed circuit board has a purpose, either to run a watch or to run a TV, run a transistor or something like that. Imagine this watch comes in the ocean waves to you when you're swimming in the ocean. You get it. How many of you will think that this was not produced by ocean waves, but it was manufactured by a man? How many of you will be very confident? Only how many of you? Almost half of you. Okay. Others, how many of you will think that this watch has just come by chance? Can I raise your hand? There's no hand up for that also. So these are the two possibilities I can think of. Is there a third possibility anybody can say? See, how do you know this watch is designed? If you open behind, you know that there is a design. The first question is, where did the material come from? Second question is, where did the design come from? And the design has a purpose. What is the purpose in this design? To show time. To show time. Similarly, we will show you today, so many designs are observable by us in this creation. Somebody has designed and put it there. So therefore, we are confident that there is a designer behind. Because design, there is a book called as Evidence of God in an Expanding Universe. That because 88 scientists have written from chemistry, physics, maths point of view, what design they are observing in the world and how they are confident that there is a designer behind. Similarly, wherever there is energy, you will see that, say for example, if a stone comes flying inside this room from the window and comes and hits your head and you start bleeding, what is the first question you will ask? Who loaded this stone with the energy to hit my head? You will run there and peep through the window and say, hey, who is that? Correct? You will ask or not, isn't it? Because if I tell you, no, by chance the stone came, will you believe me? The stone is carrying what energy? Kinetic energy. So the kinetic energy is loaded into the stone by an energetic person who is there. Probably he'll run away from you. Somebody has thrown the stone or a ball, correct ball or something like that. Similarly, in this world, if you see energy, you have to ask, who is the energetic behind the energy? That's another question. We will see that. And flawless laws imply lawmaker. So we will show all these things to you now. Here you see these are famous artists. Leonardo da Vinci drew this Mona Lisa, famous picture. Similarly, there are artists behind each of these drawings. Similarly, now you see in the real world, who is the artist behind this artistry? So one can ask this question. For example, if you take a paper rose, it requires a scissor, it requires color marker pen or a color papers. And not only these items, not only you need the intelligence to make the rose also, right? Cut it in a certain way. Even to make a paper rose, but a paper rose doesn't have fragrance. It doesn't have the tenderness. But think about the real rose now. So who made the real rose? How can you say that the real rose came by itself? Even a paper rose doesn't come by itself. Then how can a real rose can come by itself? Think about it. It has not only fragrance, it has delicateness, biological complexity, many shapes and forms. You can give a botanical name, like hibiscus is the name for one particular flower. You can see the shape of the flower and the color of the flower, fragrance of the flower, shape of the leaves, and you can say, so precisely made. So artistry implies, art is the first one. So like this, each of it we will see. See, the organization in a sound is not coming.
Community. Thousands of female bees, called worker bees, live together in a hive with a queen bee. The queen bee was marked with a red dot, so we can see her better. The worker bees are all females, but they almost never lay eggs. Worker bees do almost all the chores in the hive. They gather pollen or nectar, guard the entrance, clean the hive, build the comb, make honey, tend the queen, and feed the larvae. They even fan the hive with their wings to keep it cool on a hot summer day.
You saw, how did you know what is the queen bee? It has got red color dot on the back. All of them can recognize. So that means there is a leader, there is a drone, there is a queen bee, and there are worker bees. It's just exactly like a factory. Is it not true? And these fellows go and do the hard work, bring the honey, and then they are, feeding the larvae, fanning this thing, and building the honeycomb. Itself requires intelligence. So
Mathematician spiders. Compared to their own sizes, spiders build very large webs. Indeed, if we enlarged a spider to the size of a human being, the length of the web it weaves would be approximately 100 which corresponds to a 50-story skyscraper. Is it possible for a human being to weave a lacework the size of a 50-story skyscraper in only an hour? But a tiny spider accomplishes much more than that. Moreover, the spider-woven web is the sturdiest material in the world. How do spiders weave these webs possessing miraculous features? The spider takes into consideration many factors while weaving a web hundreds of times larger than its own size. This task demands at least some calculations essential in constructing a building. For the accomplishment of this work, first the spider must draw a project like an architect, for a construction of this size, design, and sturdiness cannot be accomplished without an architectural project. Once the project is drawn, the spider must calculate the lifting capacity of each part of the web like an engineer, otherwise the web cannot remain suspended. In order to design such a web and make such delicate calculations, the spider must be more qualified than a college graduate. Indeed, there is not a university that provides education to the offspring. Following their birth, they begin to produce silk, weave web.
you saw how tall. Actually, you will find, I'm just showing a couple of examples of organization. We can show how the weaver bird is making its nest. There are a lot of things like that you will find. So this is our point. Wherever there is organization, there has to be organizer. Like if you see the silkworm also, you will find such long, several meters of that very fine thread it waves. So now, due to lack of time, I'm not showing you all of that. Just I showed you a couple of ones. I showed you. So ask yourself, if any of you say that, this organization is by chance, then I will also tell you that the tall towers which are coming up in Hyderabad, many housing colonies, they all should happen by chance. Then you will have to accept that logic also. Then you have to throw away the civil engineers, those fellows who are doing all this, blueprints and all, they are all not required, because everything is anyway going to come by chance. If this is by chance, that should be by chance also. But if you agree that all the tall towers which are made, they are precisely designed, with blueprints are made and they are executed. If that requires organization, intelligent organization, then this also requires. So, you can see many wonderful things created by man. For example, take a sleek car. Someone has manufactured it. It doesn't come by chance, isn't it? Say, for example, in this car you have metal, you have paint, you have glass, you have rubber, and all these things. Say, for example, a company, this is the entrance gate, this is the exit gate. The entrance gate, throw all these items. Throw glass, rubber, paint, all the items required for making a car. And the other side, beautiful car is coming out. In between, can you say, by chance, these things got combined and car came out? Similarly, someone is making it, correct, no? Similarly, you will find in the mother's womb also, suddenly, a man and woman unite, there is a semen from the man's body goes into woman's body. And then it comes like a plum. Then it has 9 holes. Then it develops. Then head comes out, hand comes out, leg comes out. Then it comes out as a baby. Correct, no? Then when the child comes out outside, Man is only seeing the child popping out of the woman's womb, coming out as a child. So is it happening by chance inside or somebody is making it? Because there is design. Car has a design, child has a design. How can you say that car requires designers and the child making doesn't require a designer? And if you say it doesn't require a designer, then you should do the same thing. Take the semen. You know what they call as test tube baby. Test tube baby, don't imagine or dream that test tube babies are born in test tube babies. They are only mixed in test tube babies. After that, they put in a woman's womb, where the child grows, because you need the umbilical cord connection, without which there is no possibility of child growth inside. So no design happens on its own. Every design is, there is a designer behind. You will see, for example, take a trendy computer, someone assembled it. Take an elegant watch, someone designed it. Take architectural marvel, someone erected it by designing it. Take skyscraper building, someone built it. Take beautiful sculptures, someone carved it. Similarly, shouldn't this universe also should have a super intelligent creator? So one can think about it, very easy it is. So any creation implies creator. Yeah. Now see this amazing thing, sequoia seed. See how many centimeters it is. It's just 1.5 centimeter, 15 millimeter. From this sequoia seed, do you want to know what comes out of this? When you sow this seeds in the ground, this is the kind of tree comes out. And you want to know the size of the tree? It is the largest tree in the whole world. It is 275 feet high, close to 300 feet. And it is 29 meters in diameter. You require 20 people to embrace this tree. It is so huge. And a car can go inside if you see like this. Van can go inside. And this is called as a giant tree in a tiny seed. In just a small seed. Is it not a magic? Think about it. You see, it's taller than our Statue of Liberty also. So tall is a tree. Similarly, many of us admire the MacBook, such kind of very trendy computers. Think about our human brain. It can store more information than all the libraries in the world these days. So ask this, who designed it? See, 70,000 thoughts per day is processing. See, 1 billion synapses. Yeah. So, you see, the companies which are designing more and more sleek computers, the best of the intelligences goes into it. You agree? The product companies which design more and more trendy, like for example the Kindle and the MacBook. So these designs have been made by man with a lot of effort. So if you agree that those sleek machines require a lot of effort to make, the brain has so many details. How can you expect that this came by chance? That's the point. Now we have been talking till now about the macro world. Let's go to the micro world now. Let us take the DNA molecule if you see. See, there are 14 types of Bravais lattices. If you see body-centered trigonal, you see body-centered cubic, face-centered cubic, simple. These are all certain type of structures. You must have studied about it, right? For example, if you take this, these are particular model in which the atoms are organized. There are 14 varieties are there, specific varieties, in which the atoms are organized in in any metal, if you see. Again, this is order. You will find, for example, if you take graphite, you all know graphite can be easily broken. It's like coal only. If you see this graphite and diamond, graphite is porous, highly porous, can break it very easily. Whereas diamond is the hardest on Mohs scale. It's 10 in Mohs scale. Hottest element. But from porous graphite only this comes. Is it not amazing? Simply by a slight change in the molecular change. See, molecule angle is 20 degrees. If you make it 35 degrees, the whole structure changes. Just by changing slightly the molecular bonding angle, if you change it, a graphite can become diamond. And this is how, in the ancient times, the Vedic times, they said alchemy solution, if you put a soft iron piece, it can be turned into gold. Because of slight change in the molecular structure, you can change the whole metal only completely. So, why I took this example, these are two extremes. One extremely porous and easy to pulverize. The other one is extremely hard. You cannot pulverize. Meticulous design in the micro world. So man is throwing a satellite in orbit, say for using the mobile phones. But there are so many people involved in that. 24 hours round the clock there is monitoring going on. Want to know how they are monitoring? These are the parameters. And to keep track of these parameters, there's a big office. See, all these people are sitting. Satellite control room, it's a huge affair it is. You may not know that phone you are very comfortably using. But you don't know there are thousands and thousands of people engaged in monitoring the satellites, and even to just put one satellite in orbit. Similarly, take the Earth, which is 6 into 10 power 21 metric tons. And it is rotating at this speed. Who is in control? Is NASA in control? It's a good question now. And also, all the planets are revolving in their respective orbits. For example, you all know 9 planets around the sun. What is the last planet? Pluto. But the Pluto is sometimes found between the 7th and 8th planet, Uranus and Neptune. You know that why? Because the circles are not concentric. Pluto in one place goes in between those two, between the 7th and 8th planet also, while revolving. But have you ever heard of a clash anytime? They don't clash because there is a strict control. So these are marvelous designs in nature. Now another design you are showing here, you can see.
1200 AD, a man named Leonardo Pisano, better known as Fibonacci, discovered a sequence of numbers that created a very interesting pattern. The sequence begins with the numbers 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, and continues indefinitely. Each number is obtained by adding the last 2 digits together. A rectangle with a length and width of any 2 of the numbers of this sequence forms what is known as the golden rectangle, a perfect rectangle. A golden rectangle can be broken down into squares the size of the next Fibonacci numbers down and below. If we were to take a perfect or golden rectangle, break it down into smaller squares based on Fibonacci's sequence, and divide each with an arc, the patterns begin to take shape. We begin to see Fibonacci's spiral. The spiral in and of itself is insignificant. Its importance is revealed in where we find it. Take, for example, the sunflower. The display of its florets are in perfect spirals of 55, 34, and 21, the sequence of Fibonacci. The fruitlets of the pineapple create the same spiral based on the sequence. The pine cone does the same. As currents move through the ocean and the tide rolls onto the shore, the waves that bring in the tide curve into a spiral that can be mathematically diagrammed onto a plot at the points 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, and 55. Buds on trees, sand dollars, starfish, petals on flowers, and especially the nautilus shell are formed with this exact same blueprint. With each segment of growth, the nautilus adds to itself one more value on Fibonacci's scale. This blueprint can be seen around us on a small scale every day, but the greatest example of all is directly above our heads. At an average of 100,000 light years across, even the spiral of the galaxies above us are formed with the exact design that the tiny shell is formed. This sequence, or blueprint, appears to be the trademark of a designer, a proof of a creator, something left behind indicating the one who was there, a fingerprint. As we scan our universe from the tiny flower to the awe-inspiring galaxy, we see the fingerprint of God.
You saw that? So in which all places you find this Fibonacci spiral? Okay, anybody remembers? Where all you find this spiral number matching? In a human ear, in the fingers, huh? Where else? Yeah, here in the fingers, what else? Huh? In the galaxies at the top, where else you saw? Fingerprint, yeah, and a pineapple, sunflower, waves of the ocean, isn't it? How amazing it is. All of them follow this pattern. So Fibonacci calls it as a God signature. Huh? That means there is a design in making of all these things. Huh? Just like a company makes products, which are designed by the R&D people and then executed by the other departments. Similarly, there is a design which is gone behind. So design implies designer. That's what he... Look at the sun. This is the mass of the sun. See the earth, size of the earth, you see. You saw the size of the earth? 14 lakh earths can be put inside the sun. 14 lakh earths can be put inside one sun. That is the size of the sun. And the sun also rotates at the speed of 16,000 miles in 1 second. If you do like this, 16,000 miles it goes. That also is moving. See the earth is so tiny, a dot. See, it's 5,000 degrees centigrade. See, energy emitted by the sun in 1 second is the amount of energy consumed by human race throughout the entire history. He says, that much energy sun is emanating in just 1 second. See, in 1 second, our sun produces enough energy to meet the current needs of the entire earth for 5 lakh years. Can you imagine? So again, the same question, which I told you. How can this energy exist without an energetic behind the energy? Because you are not supplying energy to the sun. Are we sending petrol regularly to see that it is going on? You are not supplying. There is somebody supplying the energy to the sun. Or even if somebody says it's due to nuclear fusion, it's a chain reaction, there is no wonder about the sun. Then my question to such a person is, who bombarded the first neutron? After which the chain reaction started. Did you bombard it? Somebody must have bombarded. There must be somebody beyond, even if it is a chain reaction. So energy implies energetic. Okay, look at the world around you. Like you go to college, there is a law. You have to reach college at 9:30 a.m. The period starts there. So who made the law? Principal has made the law. Similarly, take in India, you have to keep the car on the left. America, keep the car on the right. Who made the law? Government has made the law. Or Indian traffic police or American traffic police. Somebody makes the law. Where there is law, there must be lawmaker. Very as simple as that. In cricket also, how many overs in one day international match? How many players in one team? So who made all these rules? Yeah, Entrance Cricket Council. Correct, no? There are people behind every law. Similarly, there is a periodic table of elements. We don't call it as a periodic chance. Do you call it periodic chance? Because every element you can define it nowadays. 1:2, 2p6, you can write the structure now for each element. So it's a periodic law. It follows a pattern. Similarly, There are laws of motion, laws of physics. Similarly, there is reflection, diffraction, laws of optics. Similarly, there are laws of thermodynamics. In micro world and macro world, there are precise laws. So if you say that your college timing is made by your principal, cricket laws are made by ICC, they are all having a lawmaker, then how can these laws exist in the world without a lawmaker? That's a question. So flawless laws imply a lawmaker. As simple as that. Because law cannot exist without a lawmaker. There has to be somebody implementing the law. In the same manner, you may see that somebody is beautiful, somebody is ugly, somebody is handsome, somebody is ugly. Somebody is stinking rich, somebody is poor, somebody is a doctor, somebody is a coolie. Who decides who will get what profession, what education? See, we choose education, job, husband or wife, spouse. These are all chosen by us. And we may choose a car or apartment also. But we don't choose our parents. Do you all choose your parents or parents are given to you? Similarly, did you choose your face cut or face cut was given? It is given to you. Similarly, our intellectual quotient also, IQ, varies from person to person, correct now? That is also, did you choose it or it was given to you? Given to you. So that's a question here. Who chooses? On what basis? Is it by chance or is it having some basis? Because the other laws, just now we said, physics, chemistry, we have biology, we have thermodynamics, we have mathematics, everywhere there are laws. We can see that. So there are laws made by man. In the same manner, all these laws should have somebody beyond these laws. Then if those are having lawmaker, then what about these items? How can they be random events? Therefore, karma we say, according to karma you get. Karmana daiva netrena jantur deho papattaye striya pravishta udanam pumso retakkanashrayah. Under the supervision of Supreme Lord, according to the results of one's karma, the living being is made to enter into the womb of a woman through the particle of male semen to assume a particular type of body. The Bhagavatam says this. According to the flawless laws imply a lawmaker. Okay, now let us see scientist observation. Now, till now, we are talking about your observation, my observation. Let us see what the scientists say. See, this is by Einstein. Somebody can read it. Who has the mic with you? Others can read. You can give it to others. Yeah.
There is a perfect brain behind all the natural physical laws. Albert Einstein.
The Schrödinger is a little longer one, but it is a very important one. Therefore, we are going to read it. Anybody else? Yeah, please read it.
I am very astonished that the scientific picture of the real world around me is very deficient. It gives a lot of factual information, puts all our experience in a magnificently consistent order, but it is ghastly silent about all
sundry
that is really near to our heart, that really matters to us. It cannot tell us a word about red and blue, bitter and sweet, physical pain and physical delight. It knows nothing of beautiful and ugly, good or bad, God or eternity. Science sometimes pretends to answer questions in these domains, but the answers are very often so silly that we are not inclined to take them seriously.
See what he is saying. Science sometimes pretends to answer these questions in these domains, but the answers are often so silly that we are not even inclined to take them seriously, he says. Therefore, I told you, he is talking about, the love, the taste, the beauty of the form, the aesthetic appeal. No machines can understand this. Therefore, he says science is completely deaf and dumb regarding these things which are very near to our heart, like that he says. Which means that there is no knowledge of consciousness, Chetan. The whole scientific study is about Jada Padartha, that's all. Yeah. Somebody? Read it. Where's the mic with you? Quick. Don't delay. Give the mic to him. Give the mic to him. Don't
If
switch
you
off.
think
Give the
strongly
mic.
enough, you will be forced by science to believe in God.
Yeah, that is Lord Kelvin. Yeah. Yeah, actually, Sir Isaac Newton had made a gyroscope with a crankshaft. If you rotate, there will be sun in the middle and all the planets will revolve around it. So one day his atheistic friend came to meet Newton and asked him, "Hey, so wonderful, when you rotated it all revolved so beautifully. Who made this model for you? Can you please tell me? I would like to have one," he said. And Newton said, "This came by chance," he said. And his friend said, "Hey, don't ridicule me. Tell me exactly who made it." Then Newton asked him a question. "You are saying that even the small model cannot come on its own, then how can the actual solar system, which is so precisely functioning, how can that come on its own?" That was Newton's question. So what Newton says, please read it.
The most beautiful system of the sun, planets, and comets could only proceed from the counsels and domains of an intelligent and powerful being. These beings governs all things, not as the soul of the world, but Lord over all. And
He is not just soul of the world. He is not one amongst us. He is Lord over all, he is saying. Yeah.
account of this domain, he is not be called Lord.
He
God.
is to be called Lord God, universal ruler. So here is Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton said one more thing. I am like a small boy in the seashore, standing and picking some pebbles and seashells, while the truth that God has created is in front of us like a vast ocean. Like that he said. Yeah, read it.
I saw in it the atom, the key to the deepest secret of the nature, and it revealed to me the greatness of the creations and the creator, Max Bond.
So you can see all this. I have only quoted some of the best top-notch scientists and Nobel laureates here. But you can get hundreds and thousands of such quotes from others also. See, this is our Ramanujan. You all may be aware, when Ramanujan was a small boy in South India, in a black slate, he would write, mathematical differential equations and rub it and write and rub it. One day his friend saw him and said, "Hey, don't write and rub. You are writing many complex equations. Better to put it in a notebook." So he started writing in a notebook. Later on, his friend sent his notebook abroad to it came to the hand of one Mr. Gauss. You may be knowing about Gauss theorem in mathematics. So when Gauss got it, he was thrilled because some of the equations were what he was looking for. So he arranged for Ramanujan to travel from India to abroad. So he asked Ramanujan, "How are you solving some of the complex problems?" So Ramanujan was actually a born genius. So he helped a big number of mathematicians. What they could not solve, Ramanujan solved it. So what he says?
An equation for me has no meaning unless it represents a thought of
Why
God.
sound is not coming, man? What is the problem? Read it again.
An equation for me has no meaning unless it represents a thought of a God.
Yeah, Srinivas A. Ramanujan. Yeah. Yeah, read it. See, Heisenberg. You know Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. What he says, yeah.
There is a higher power not influenced by our wishes, which finally decides and judges. Werner Heisenberg.
Yeah. So you can see each of these fellows, see their codes. Yeah, read it. It is Faraday. You all know Faraday very well. See each of these.
We ought to value the privilege of knowing God's truth far beyond anything we can have in this world. Michael Faraday.
What Faraday is saying is, in this world there are many things science finds interesting to study, the Jada Padarth. But far beyond the Jada Padarth, one should also study about him, he says, who is the creator of this world. Like Prabhupada was asking one Dr. Benford, you are studying about the grass and talking about cytoplasm, protoplasm and all these things. And Prabhupada said, why do you study the grass? Why didn't you study about the person who put the grass here? He said. And the Dr. Benford said, Swamiji, we just want to know sheer information about what is there in the grass. Prabhupada said, you have written 2 bulky volumes on the topic of grass, but without reading the book, the cow is eating grass and going. Cow doesn't need your book. So you should know who has put the grass. Then you will come to the creator. who has made this world. Then you can ask the Creator, why did you make this world? Why did you keep sufferings in this world? Diseases. Why did you keep old age? Why did you keep death? Why can't we be happy forever? You can ask these questions if you study the Creator who has put it. Very important. So these are the different scientists whose quotes I showed you, and you heard from their mouth, you saw their powerful quotes. All of them are great devotees of God, which means it goes to show the foundation of science, which has been established by all these fathers of science, all the smartest fellows. They were all great devotees of God, but over time, the scientists became very greedy and envious of God. They wanted to put themselves in the center. So that people will have faith in them. That's what happens in this world. If you see, some businessman starts a business in a nice way to serve the people. Eventually becomes money greedy. And then he starts cheating. Correct, no? Like a milkman starts in a nice way. Eventually adds more and more and more water. And then he wants to make more and more money. That's what happened to atheistic scientists. When they turned away from God, they became atheistic over time. So, here's a question. Yeah, you know the answer? What is the answer? Yeah, see, that's intelligent design. That's what we've been discussing till now. Second question, what is the purpose? Yeah, correct. To understand God and life. It is not just eat, drink and be merry and go to hell. Or it is not just make money, stock the money in the bank and die like cats and dogs and go away. Somebody else will enjoy your money. And it is not that life has no purpose. To understand who is the creator of the world, why he created, why are we living this world. So these are the two questions. See, have you ever seen, like you go to your laboratory and ask, sir, this UTM machine, universal testing machine, where did this machine come from and what is its purpose? Say your lab man tells you, this machine came by chance, it has no purpose. You will think he is nuts, correct now? Will you take him seriously? Machine must have come from Germany or somewhere. And the machine has a purpose. It has a purpose. Any machine, take a computer or building or even a pen and a pencil and a watch has its maker or designer. Even a chapati doesn't come by itself. It comes from your mother's kitchen. Mother has designed it and made it round. First of all, you have to ask the question, where did chapati flour come from? The atta. And that flour also, how it has got a round design. Not only round, you all know paratha, how it looks. What is the shape of paratha? Triangle. There's a design. There's a triangular design or circular design, correct, no? Somebody is designing in the kitchen, cooking and sending you out. Not that comes by chance. Nothing comes by chance in this world. Everything is having a superintelligent designer behind. The big brain. So even Encyclopedia Britannica says the same thing. He says that, he should emphasize that no theory of origin of solar system has yet one general acceptance. All involve highly improbable assumptions, he says. Which means there are 20 theories talking about the origin of universe and none of them is accepted by any of the scientists. For your kind information, you all know Stephen Hawking, he was a die-hard atheist. In 2001, Stephen Hawking said that within a couple of years, I am going to give you all an equation called GUT, Grand Unified Theory. And it's one differential equation which all our boys in the universities can wear on the t-shirt and go, and that will represent the whole universe, he said. And everybody thought he has found a solution to the complex problems of the universe. And he has been researching. In 2018, he declared that the more I researched the universe, the more I found it to be highly complex and with great variety. And I could not arrive at this grand unified theory which I had originally suggested. But my congratulations to scientists, your research will never come to an end, he said. And go on researching. And he died the same year, 2018. Stephen Hawking. You will see that. Actually, these kind of people will keep you in darkness and they will never be able to give you the solution, because if you think matter is everything, you are cheated. Because beyond matter there is Chetan, Atma. In the beginning, therefore we discussed about it. Here is activity time for you. Make a comparison between government of India and universal government. Okay? Now let us see how you do that. Now you have to tell me on the right side what should come. See, India has got law and order and punishment, right? In the universal government, is there a punishment for the wrongdoers? Yes, you have to say, what is that? Yeah? Yeah? Yamaraj, now some people may say, I have never seen Yamaraj, they may say. Is there something observable by all of you? Wrongdoers get punishment or they don't get punishment? Any example for that? First of all, you tell me, what do you consider as wrong? Amongst the youth, among the youngsters, what activities do you consider as wrong things? You raise the hand. Anybody? Where is it? Okay. Yeah, cheating is wrong, surely. Correct? Okay, if you're cheating, you're caught by the police, you know. Yeah, what else?
Karma.
Karma. What type of karma is considered wrong? We should not do.
Bad karma.
Bad karma. So example, one example. Okay, say drinking liquor. So is there a punishment kept by God for those who drink liquor? They become more healthy and wonderful, or some problem happens to them? What disease comes? Liver cirrhosis. They get. Okay. What other bad karma example? Meat eating. Okay, those who are eating meat, do they get problem or they don't get any problem? They get terrible problems. You know the mad cow disease which came in London. You know the meat eaters having difficulty with digestion of the meat. You know the meat eaters getting bloating of the stomach and getting blood pressure rising and heart attack. There are many things like that. What else? Yeah? Example. What is that adharma example? He told liquor drinking is perfect. Anger. Is there an effect of anger or no effect? Good effect or bad effect? Bad effect. If you become angry, you get blood pressure rises. So here I have shown, if you see, if you do illicit sex, one gets AIDS and such. There are 25 sexually transmitted diseases. Terrible diseases. For those who indulge in illicit activity. Illicit sex means going from multiple female partners and enjoying sex freely without any control. They get, like I was seeing in Pune, 300 boys and girls were in a queue. And all of them with a kerchief in their mouth, with their heads down. I asked, who are these fellows? Why are they morose? They said, all are AIDS patients. They said, they are coming to the booth to take some AIDS medicines. But the medicines cannot assure them cure for HIV. You all know that. There is no cure. Any time, even if they get a common cold, these people can die. They are counting the days. Anything can happen to them. See, when these boys and girls wanted to indulge in illicit sex, did they worry about the consequence? They didn't worry. They thought, we don't care. What are you talking about God? We don't care. They indulged and then now they are suffering now. You will see that. That means there is a effect, result for wrongdoing. Similarly, see, somebody is smoking, they get lung cancer. Their lungs get charred. You have drinking liquor, they get liver cirrhosis. You take tobacco, put in the mouth, you find there are ulcers in the mouth. Correct, no? You take drugs. Correct now, when people take drugs, do they become very healthy by taking drugs? My Lord, what kind of, they have to be admitted in a drug rehabilitation hospital. They get addicted. They can't give up. They go to depression. You will see that. That means in this world, for every wrongdoing, there is a punishment. Just like India has law and order, in the universal government also there is law and order. Is that clear to everybody? Okay, second one. There's a health ministry also in India. Similarly, is there some arrangement made by God for our health problems? Ayurveda. Correct. Give him an applause. Very good. Ayurvedic herbs. Charak Samhita gives more than 3,000 medicines. Jadi Butti we say, no? Like there is ginger, there is pepper, so many items. There are medicinal herbs which doctors grow and they make medicines. God is so kind. He has sent the medicines also. He knows very well that my living beings will eat too much and they will get indigestion. They will get so many diseases. He has sent medicines also. He has sent. Okay. Ministry of Energy, Electricity and Lighting is supposed to be supplied by the government. Like we have EB, Electricity Board, giving us this kind of electric facility. So in this world, for civilization to exist, you need lighting facility. Has God provided lighting? Yeah? Yeah. In the morning when you get up, there is only one big light he hands over down. What is that? Sun. See, when I was traveling in a plane at night, I saw every house was lit up. Millions of lamps are required in the night. Whereas in the morning time, God only hands over one light only. Big light. And that takes care of everything. That is sun. At night when you're going to sleep, there is a night light also. What is it? Why I am calling it as a night light? Night light is supposed to be dim or very bright? Yeah, it's supposed to be dim. So moon is very cooling. Scientists say moon is below minus 200 degrees centigrade. You know that? Moon is very shital, very cool. So night God is giving a very cool light is giving. And also dim light. So when you get that, you feel like going to sleep. Morning bright light and hot light, so you can get to do work. You can. So yes, arrange that. Lighting, sun and moon. Correct? And then finance ministry, currency or wealth is supposed to be printed by Reserve Bank of India. So there is a wealth. Is there a wealth in God's creation also? Anybody? Anybody else? Yeah. Yeah. You can take, give the mic to him behind. Huh?
Good health.
We are talking about wealth. We are not talking about health. Of course, good health is also wealth, yeah? No, knowledge also is a different thing as regards to, like we have currency note which is wealth. Gold, yeah, diamond also. Diamond, gold, silver. See? Yeah,
All the
pearls
minerals.
also. Pearls, Navaratnas. Give him one big hand for he found the answer. What's your name? Who is that? You said that, right? Gold, silver, diamond. And all those things are the real wealth. In fact, any country can only print currency notes against gold. Not that they can just print any number of notes. And then defense ministry is for protecting from dangers. Is there a facility in the creation protecting from danger? You know that? Huh? What? Ozone layer around the earth, which is preventing all the ultraviolet radiation from coming in. Correct, no? That means God has given a protective layer. That's one thing. That's correct. Give him an applause. Very good. And also, there is something called as immunity in the body. You know that? Like if you take a blade and cut your hand, don't put any medicine. Leave it for 3 days, it will dry up. But how is that possible? Immunity, inbuilt immunity is given. That is also protection. For example, if there is a fire, while talking to all of you, if I put my hand like this, immediately I feel sensitivity, right? Like that I'll take up my hand. Imagine if the fire doesn't give me that sensitivity, I keep on talking, then my hand will be consumed, only this much hand will be there. Correct, no? So God has kept that. That is also protection or not? What do you think? Yeah, in order to protect us from dangers. You go to any mountain and peep from the top, what do you feel? You get scared. Why that fear is kept? If that fear is not there, just like you're walking on the floor, you don't feel fear. On the top of mountain also, you don't feel fear. What will happen? What? You don't know what will happen? Like walking on the floor, do you feel fear? No. But walking on mountain top, when you peep like that, you feel fear. If the fear is not there, what is likely to happen? You may jump, thinking that's like walking only, and then you'll break your head and die, correct, no? So God has kept that fear. That is also protection. So in this way, you will find if you observe the world around you, it's amazing it is. He has made many arrangements. Ozonosphere, immunity in the body, many things. Last one, education ministry for citizens. The scriptures, yeah? Yeah? He's saying Sadhu Sangh also is there and scriptures like Vedas, Bible, Quran. These are all coming. Word of God is coming from the dawn of creation. Everything's coming. So you have made a match now between the two. So what do you learn from this now? After making this match, what do you learn? What lessons do you learn? Anybody can say? Now you all found out the match very well. After making the match, what is the conclusion you can arrive at? Anybody one? Raise the hand. Yeah? Yeah, correct. Because behind a country, there is a prime minister. Correct. Now, India has a prime minister or no prime minister? There is a person now behind. And very prominent prime minister running the country. Similarly, in this world, if all these right side things are there, behind them there should be a behind the government there is PM. Behind the universal government there is God. Hence proved, based on all these things. What else you learn? Yeah, he is the lawmaker. God is the lawmaker. And then if you break his laws, we suffer. Uh, Prime Minister maintains the country and controls the country. God also creates and maintains the world and controls the whole world. If you break law abiders in a government, live happily. Law breakers suffer. Similarly, if you abide by God's law, you will be happy. If you break God's law, you will suffer. As simple as that. Like all of you are law-abiding citizens. So you're living, as a free citizen. Imagine the moment, a boy catches a girl in the road. She cries. Then police will catch your other hand. And they will say, come here, come with us to police station. Correct, no? You break the law, you will be punished. You follow the law, you can be free. That's another lesson we learn. So the unseen is proven by the seen. Please repeat this sloka. Matta parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya mayi sarvamidam protam sutre manigana iva. Oh Arjun, everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a necklace. This is what I told you in the beginning of the class also. Now, what is the source of life in this world and its symptoms? If you see many times in your school days you were taught like this, that man evolved from branches to benches. Correct, no? They draw pictures like this. There's a book called Science Digest. They say these pictures are simply fiction. There is nothing like a link between ape evolution. There is no link between ape and human being. Now, if you see here, please read this, somebody, take the mic.
The material body is a mere dress over the imperishable soul. Material body is dead matter, jada. It is temporary and perishable. Soul is the real, conscious, eternal and blissful personality. Soul is a tiny part and parcel of God.
You understood, no? This is what I told you in the beginning of the class. We had an elaborate discussion on that. Vedam mam sarva bhutanam vidhi partha sanatanam. And then he says, I am the original seed-giving father of all existence. All these 8.4 million species, he says in the Padma Purana, Jalaja Anavalakshani, there are 9 lakh types of aquatics. Stavar Laksha Vimshati, there are 20 lakh types of plants and trees, flora and fauna, we say, no, like that. And the Krimayo Rudra Sankyakaha, there are 11 lakh types of, reptiles. Like that he says. Similar, Pakshinam Dashalakshani, there are 10 lakh types of birds. So these are all mentioned in Padma Purana long before, millions of years before. And all these species were created by God. He says that, I am the father of all of them. See, according to Darwin's theory, God must have created only some unicellular forms, then they evolved, he says. Correct, no? Like for example, according to them, the ancestors were apes. Correct, no? And later on, they evolved into primitive Stone Age man, and then gradually Cro-Magnon man, and Homo sapiens, all that he says. He says that they were all cave dwellers and all that, correct, no? But according to Vedas, we find man was far more evolved than even now. They were speaking in Sanskrit. Brahma, for example, Saptarishis. So they were all much more advanced than man. If you see, therefore you will find Sanskrit is the most ancient language and complex language, and it is the source of all other languages. You will see that. Like in English, you call father. How did the father come? Sanskrit is pita. In Latin, it becomes pater, then becomes father. In Sanskrit, it's mata. Mata becomes mother. Duhitra becomes daughter. Swastra becomes sister. So you will find that Sanskrit is the mother of many languages, and people are speaking it. How can you say they were primitive? Think about it. So if you see the Darwin's theory, Darwin says that he speculated. You know what is the meaning of speculation? He made an imagination. He thought, you'll be shocked. Darwin says from the rat, so from the mouse has come horse, he's saying. Can you believe? Yeah, rat can become horse. How many of you think it's a little doubtful for you? You can't be sure. From a rat, horse can come. But he says that. It's there in Darwin's book, Origin of Species. Similarly, you see one more thing. See, the bear has become a whale. I have directly taken quote from his book. See what he says. In North America, the black bear was seen swimming for hours with wide open mouth, thus catching like a whale insects in water. Even in so extreme a case as this, if the supply of insects were constant and if better adapted competitors did not exist, I see no difficulty in the race of bears by natural selection, more and more becoming aquatic and becoming whale, he's saying. Huh? So, all of your educated boys, you certainly have a brain. You think about it. When I read it first time, I laughed like anything catching my stomach because I thought that, a bear can never become a whale. If any of you feel it can become a whale, stand up and give your explanation to me. Even if you keep 1,000,000 years, a bear cannot become a whale. You can never find such thing. Another interesting thing here, he says that this giraffe was eating they were browsers of the green leaves from the tree. Gradually the leaves reduced in the tree. Then they had to stretch their neck. That they have to stretch their neck more and more and eat higher and higher. So then he says, those giraffes who could stretch the neck the longest, they survived and other giraffes died, he says. He says here, you can see that. So under nature, with the nascent giraffe, the individuals were the highest browsers and were able to, during the dearths, to reach even an inch or two above others, will often have been preserved. By this process, long continued, combined, no doubt, a most important manner with the inherent effects of increased use of parts. It seems to me almost certain that any ordinary hoofed quadruped, that means like a goat or like a cow or a bull, they are called quadruped. He says they might be converted into giraffe, he's saying. You can see here. Now I had a question which many scientists also had the same question. They asked him, they said, okay, if some of the animals could not stretch their neck, they can bow down and eat grass. Is it possible or not? Were they having ego problem to bow down? Anyway, for drinking water, they have to bow down. If they are drinking water, can't they eat the grass on the ground? What a ridiculous thing that he is talking about. And this is being taught in the schools as if it is a gospel truth, as if it's a solemn truth. So I am only quoting just 2-3 examples. I can give you hundreds of them. Actually, I have 1,000 pages on Darwin's theory, which I read before I wrote my second book called as Your Secret Journey. There's a book. This is PDF is available. I'll make it available to Vishnu Prasad Prabhu. You have all their WhatsApp. You can send it to them. It's a free book for you. You can go through at your leisure. First 3 lessons are most important. First, one of the lessons talks about, is our emotions like love a biochemical function? Or is there something more than that? Then another lesson talks about, did man evolve from branches to benches? More elaborately, what I am telling you is only very brief here. Shastras give this explanation. See here, Annamaya, Pranamaya, Jnanamaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. Annamaya means initially one thinks only about eating food. Then after eating food, you become healthy, then you compete with others in order to achieve this, achieve that in life. Then Jnanamaya means, you start dreaming about life, like your dream job, dream country, dream girl, so many things people dream about, correct? No? Dream house, dream car. Because if you cannot work hard and get it, you dream about it. Like many of you boys may go to the movie to watch. Why? Because what you cannot do in real life, you can do in movie. Like a hero has got 20 boys with him, heroine has got 20 girls with her, and they dance for her and he has the fellows dancing. Does it happen in real life anytime? But when you go and watch a movie, you repose yourself in the hero's role and think, oh, I have so many people dancing for me. So that is a Jnanamaya, or a dream. And then Vijnanamaya is the real platform where you start understanding, I am not the body, who am I? Soul. And Anandamaya is the real stage where I am only soul, but God is super soul. So those two, the Shastras talk about this. You realize the truth. In this way, Shastras say that every human being evolves in consciousness. Not that, bodies are evolving. According to Darwin, he says, if you have a Luna, suddenly the Luna, you pump it, it becomes Maruti car. And Maruti car suddenly grew wings and became aeroplane. That's what he says. He's talking about change. But what we are saying is, a Luna driver got more salary now. He threw away the Luna and accepted a car. Now he became a very rich millionaire and he threw away the car and he became a millionaire to purchase a chartered plane. So the driver is changing vehicles, not that one vehicle is changing to another. How many of you understand this point? That means our bodies are not changing into another body. See, one very important thing I'll tell you. There is something called adaptation which is true. For example, our bodies became adapted to Delta variant, by learning to get defense mechanism. So there is certainly some amount of bodily change, but to say that one body changes into another form, that is ridiculous. Dogs remain dogs only, no matter mutation you do, you do breeding, you do. Dogs will be dogs, pigs will be pigs, flies will be flies. There is a research done by scientists. You cannot convert one species to another. And even the breeding you do, crossbreeding, for example, Shastras talk about it. Like what Ravana was using in Pushpaka Viman, that's called a mule, which is a combination of horse and donkey. Shastras also talk about it. Crossbreeding, they also talk about it. But that is also fixed in 8.4 million species. They are all there. In fact, Shastras know more than scientists also about it. There is a snake bird mentioned in Bhagavatam, which is a snake with wings. Has scientists been able to, crossbreed between snake and a bird? Not yet, but Shastras have it. You will see that. Eventually, scientists will do that. When scientists will make that snake with the wing, we will be in big trouble. Why? Because from ground floor, they'll come flying into the window now. Like this. Isn't it? Takshaka was like that. And Shastra is talking in Mahabharata and Bhagavatam, you can see that. So don't think Shastras are foolish like a little child. They don't know about what breeding they're doing. They have done breeding already. Scientists better beg those ideas from Shastras and they can try to do it. See, man thought that the man came from apes. Now it is clearly proven that apes and man coexisted. Millions of years ago. There are evidences for this. And man existed even much before that also. Those ages. There are record of the rocks show that. See, you can read these books. History, hidden history of human race. If you go to Google search, you will get it. Hidden history of human race. Darwin on trial. You can read this book. They all are thoroughly smashing Darwin's theory. Forbidden archaeology. This forbidden archaeology author, Michael Cremo, in America, when he published the video, it went virally. Millions and millions of people have watched it. Darwin's doubt, human devolution, not human evolution. We have devolved from we were all Rishiputras, now we are becoming Rakshasas. You will find that we are devolving now. Man is becoming more uncultured now. He was having very high culture before. So, nature's IQ. So, what is the goal of life? The last point. See, contemporary world view is money, 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 money is honey. That's the goal of life. Modern man, money is God for him. Enjoy life. Whereas what the Vedas say, the goal of life is to realize oneself and realize God and go from Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manamaya, Vigyamana, Anandamaya. Come to the ultimate platform of happiness called Ananda. That's the goal of life. Everlasting, eternal happiness. That's the goal of life. Joyful with God. See, when we forget God, we become mad after the glitter and glamour of the material world. Like you see here. This is what people are doing now. You can see what kind of happiness is this nasty, dirty, impure happiness, so-called happiness. So you will find Arjuna was unhappy, but he surrendered to Krishna. And then Krishna, as God, he sanctions the jiva's desires. Like here, we have to ask, whatever we want, we beg God and he gives us, like a son gets money from the father for all his things. Sometimes the son is naughty, he is demanding cocoa chocolate, father doesn't want to give, but he is adamant. Then the father reluctantly gives him. Okay, chalo. That's how man is allowed to smoke or drink. God doesn't want him to do these things. But man is adamantly demanding and doing these things, and he is suffering also due to these three things: lust, anger, and greed. These are the three gateways to hell. Lust is the cause of gang rapes, and greed is the cause of all financial scams in the banks. Anger is the cause of criminal activities like murder. You will see. Modern day, all ailments have their root in these three things. Therefore, man is like this. He is not happy. Even after working 18 hours, he is not peaceful. He is depressed and miserable. So, now I am going to the last part. So, our prime duty with this we will conclude. See here, I have shown one slide for each of these 4 points. If you are really intelligent scientist, what you should do? Use your intelligence to appreciate the great creation of God. That's what we did today. We showed you in this entire show, God's great creation, how amazingly He has created this world. Secondly, To unfold the mysteries of God's creation like Fibonacci, you unfold using science. You can, for example, cow dung is considered sacred in Vedas. Scientists were laughing. Arey, cow dung, it's a stool of an animal. How can you consider it sacred? But 1945, one scientist proved that the cow dung has antiseptic properties. You can smear it in the house, all mosquitoes will fly away. They will not come near. It has got medicine. There are more than 200 diseases can be cured by cow urine. If you go to our Mayapur temple, they have put all the names of the diseases, which are many of those diseases are uncurable by allopathy medicines. Cow urine is able to cure. So in this way, you can discover the truths and reveal to people. To understand and explain the purpose of Lord's creation, which is love God and love all. Actually, when you understand God created this world, He is the father of all creatures are His children, then you will also love everybody. What's called Vasudhaya Eva Kutumbakam. The whole world is one global home. God is the father. Then you will not hurt anybody. You want to harm anybody. You will not kill a cow unnecessarily. You will not kill a goat. You will not kill other human beings. Otherwise, if you think you are the body, like you see, one Hitler killed so many Jews, 10 million Jews he killed because of skin problem. He thought they are Jews and I am German. Similarly, the whites treated the blacks in a very bad way. It's all superficial bodily identification. If you see that all souls are same in quality, where is the quarrel? So this is actually a professor from IIT Kanpur. He goes to Massachusetts, Boston to teach artificial intelligence. But he also gives Bhagavad Gita class every day evening in IIT Kanpur. So scientists should be like this. Not only you're very great master mind in artificial intelligence, but also study the Bhagavad Gita and teach it to the world. And to utilize everything for the pleasure of God. Like right now, I'm using my mic for glorifying God. I'm using my laptop not for playing video games. I am actually having the laptop to make this PPT and show all of you and to convince the world to understand how there is a great creator in this world. So you can use the laptop in God's service. You can use the mic in God's service. You can do. So in this way, everything, like, Prabhupada used the aeroplane to fly to America to preach about God. So scientists should create things, facilities, so that the Vedic message can be reached all over the world. So Srila Prabhupada's Guru told him that Indian wisdom and American technology should be combined. India's wisdom is like a man with eyes, but his legs are like a polio attacked legs, weak. But America technologically very stout and strong, but blind fellows, because they have no wisdom. So the man with wisdom, with lame legs, should sit on the man who is blind but having a hefty body. Then how many of you feel the combination is very good? Correct? Because the man with eyes can tell him, go straight, turn right, like that. And the blind man can follow him and both of them can reach the destination. So we should have the Vedic wisdom of the East and the technology of the West. You combine these two, we can propagate the Vedic message all over the world. That's all. This is a summary today. You see? A for artist. And the second one, B for beautiful organization, C for creation, D for design, E for energy, F for. So for behind all these things, that's artist, organizer, creator, designer, everything. And we told you about scientist observation. Then $2 million questions. And then this national government versus universal government. Then a prime duty. So thank you all for your patient participation. So how many of you found a session involving and easy for you to grasp? It wasn't very complicated, but you found something very valuable and interesting today. Yeah, can raise your hand? Okay, most of you, very good. Thank you very much. You have exceeded the time. I'm supposed to finish by 8:30. Became a little late. Yeah, but this is the fact. In this world, not even a blade of grass can move without His sanction. So this is the second session, correct? Now you have 2 more sessions to go. And that's also with full of colorful points. You learn about karma theory in the next session. What is good karma, bad karma, spiritual karma, how to act, how not to act. So you can see our PowerPoints are all prepared in an international class with very, very talented devotees, and we present it very systematically. In the next couple of sessions, you will learn about karma, and then the last one is even more valuable, how to implement things in your life. Huh? So, can I take one question and we'll conclude? Anybody? After going through this, anybody had a question? You can give the mic to them. There are two hands up behind you. You can give them. Send the mic to them. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Scientists say that monkey DNA is present in humans.
Monkey?
DNA is present in humans.
What is a monkey? Tail. Monkey DNA is present in?
Same as humans. Humans.
Okay. No, actually, if you say DNA is everything, I will ask you a question. For example, one egg splits into two, and the twins are born. How many of you have seen twins in human beings? You have seen, okay. So, do the twins have the same behavior or different behavior? Same nature or different natures? Why? DNA is same, appearance is same. Then how can the behavior be different? This is the question Dr. Ian Stevenson asked. No scientist could answer. Because if DNA is same, egg is same, splitting into two, the twins are born, they should behave in the same manner, same swabhava they should have. But they don't have, because two different souls have entered two different bodies. Therefore, the swabhavas are different. So Einstein used 4-5 arguments, this is one of them. He says that. Actually, when you talk about evolution, I will tell all of you what Darwin said. Darwin said that they should go from unicellular to multicellular. At his time in 1859, when he wrote The Origin of Species, the fossils were not yet dug. And then he said, when the fossils are dug, I will come to know whether what I am saying is true. But before he died, 20 million fossils were dug out. And then it clearly proved that it is not going from unicellular to multicellular. Initial forms are only very complex. Not that initial forms are simple as he anticipated. That's one thing. And the second thing, if the aquatics, for example, if the land animals have to become aquatics, for example, what should happen? A bear becoming a fish, for example. The hands of the bear should turn into fins for steering, correct? The heart, which is for the respiration, we are breathing, that should turn into gills for respiration, correct, no? In this way, there has to be a gradual change in the bone structure, which is not available. That's what I was telling you. When you go from one species to another, there has to be links which gradually change. And that gradual change is not available. So he predicted that maybe this became this became that by seeing their external morphological appearances. He said, maybe this. But that's only a kind of... Therefore, I told you, if you read that article which I am going to send you all, we have very elaborately explained it. We have even explained about spontaneous generation theory by Dawkins in 18th century. Dawkins is a bigger atheist. At least Darwin was not an atheist. Darwin said that absolute truth, creator must have created one or two living forms, he said. He only talked about how those forms evolved. Whereas Dawkins said, why are you bringing in creator? Let us say that there was some primordial soup from which, living forms came. Don't let us remove the creator only. But therefore, you should read that first article which I will be sending you about, has living forms emerged from matter? You should read that. If you say living forms emerged from matter long before, right now also you should be able to prove it in lab or in front of everybody, living forms emerging from matter. There is not even one. You cannot make one mosquito from dead body. Even cloning, if you want to do, you need a female cell and a male cell from a living body. You can't just take a wood or something dead thing and make a clone from that. You can't do that. Life always comes from life. And there are no links between one body and another. If you say there are links, you bring it and I will show you how the links are wrong. Because there are Haeckel's fraudulent charts. Now we have mentioned that. Haeckel one time showed some fraudulent charts. That links are there. Later on he admitted honestly that I actually did this cheating in order to prove Darwin's theory. That was also cheating. 1911, there is a Piltdown man who was claimed to be a link between ape and man. Everybody said Darwin theory proved, Darwin theory proved. In 1953, another scientist proved that Piltdown man is a cheat. Why? Because they have taken a ape's jaw and they have filed it to show it like a intermediate link. So it was proven to be fraud. It is available. Actually, we have not shown that. For example, I'll just show you in the.
We haven't got to manufacture something.
This is the one. You can see this.
Evolutionists go so far in this subject that they can even invent very different faces for the same skull. The three entirely different reconstructions made for the fossil called Zinjanthropus is a famous example showing how persistent evolutionists are in producing these false masks. Another intermediate transitional form fabricated by evolutionists was the Nebraska man. This was cooked up in 1922 on the basis of a single fossil tooth.
Based on
the
one
evolutionists did not neglect to give it an ostentatious Latin name, Hesperopithecus heralcuca, or to make imaginary drawings related to it. It was soon revealed that the tooth that had been the source of inspiration for Nebraska man in fact belonged to a wild pig.
The tooth was a wild pig's tooth. He claimed to be Nebraska man.
Many other fossil skulls have been presented as great evidence for evolution, failed one by one. Neanderthal man was advanced as evidence in 1856, dismissed in 1960. Piltdown man was advanced as evidence in 1912, dismissed in 1953. Zinjanthropus was advanced as evidence in 1959, dismissed in 1960. Ramapithecus was advanced as evidence in 1964, dismissed in 1979.
You saw that? Dismissed. You can remember that. All are dismissed. There is no evidence now for any ape turning into man. So therefore, I was telling you, because the time is very short, I spoke very briefly. You can elaborate a study. There are many books also I showed you. You can actually order these books from the Google if you wish, from Amazon. You can read them yourself, and you decide based on what you have understood. Hear both sides. Don't be a blind follower of the Darwin's theory as taught in the schools. We are made into a fool because they never taught you about Chetan Atma. They only taught you about Jad Padarth, dead matter. And the dead matter is dead, good for nothing. You are different from it. You are Atma, you are a Chetan Vastu, you are a conscious person. That you already learnt it in the last session, correct? This is second session. Because you learnt about the Chetan Atma driving the body last time. This time you learnt about the Chetan, great God who is running the whole universe, operator of the cosmic machine today. And you learn about the activity, karma, next time. Okay? Thank you very much. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. So we'd like to thank His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu by once loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, is it okay if we can have 5 minutes sitting kirtan? Prabhuji will
Who's the
sing.
Mridangam player? Yeah. Yeah. We are already late, but only 5 minutes we'll conclude. Okay. Dinner is ready, Prasad? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Everybody, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare. Once more together, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama. One last time please, Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare. Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki. Now you'll not forget this tune, isn't it? It'll keep ringing in your ears. So when I heard first time, this so vibrant mantra it is. It's a tremendously energy boosting mantra it is. You can sing it anywhere, any place, any time of the day. You will all remember this mantra. Repeat again. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So how many of you know this mantra by heart? You know it?